Many of today's compact 4x4s are often dismissed as being little more than estates on stilts. Yet here's such a car that's really quite rugged and has a loyal following in the UK. This generation Forester is more SUV than all-wheel drive estate, but it's still able to provide a spirited tarmac drive, as well as retaining an ability to tackle rutted tracks that would damage a conventional car. The idea of a pumped-up executive estate car with the ability to handle light off-road duties is one that's been gathering favour over the last few years. Favourite examples include Volvo's XC70 and Audi's Allroad, but the car that started it all is right here, Subaru's Forester. Now, the car made its debut to a rather puzzled British public back in 1997, with a Mark II version arriving in 2002. It's a third generation version we're looking at here, and this is a model charged not only with continuing to chip away at sales of more expensive Volvo and Audi rivals, but also with making some headway for Subaru against more conventional compact 4x4s. Now, this is a larger car than the Mark II version, with a wheelbase that's 90mm longer and track that's widened by 35mm at the front and 45mm at the rear. It also rides better thanks to a sophisticated multi-link double wishbone rear suspension that's compact enough to increase luggage space, and rolls far less thanks to the position of the Boxer engine having been dropped by 10mm to improve the centre of gravity. There's a choice of 2-litre petrol or diesel engines with similar outputs of around 150 brake horsepower. Go for the diesel and you'll be impressed at its refinement. When Subaru launched this engine in their larger Legacy, they claimed a lower official moving sound level than that you'll find in a Rolls-Royce Phantom. That's down to the engine's unique Boxer configuration. There's a clever fuel-saving electric power steering system, a rear anti-roll bar for better handling off-road, and an extra 10mm of ground clearance on the self-leveling suspension for more manoeuvrability off it. And off-road you can switch down and select a low-range gearbox with a whole new set of gears. The automatic and manual models both have their own versions of Subaru's four-wheel drive system. The manual cars come with a pretty conventional centre differential system with a viscous limited slip differential, while the automatic has a much more sophisticated layout. You get an active torque split AWD system, and basically it very cleverly allocates grip to the wheels with most of it. VDC stability control is standard on all models, coordinating the engine, transmission and brakes to keep the vehicle's position constant should extreme manoeuvres or slippery conditions force your Forester into a skid. The very first thing that's apparent when clocking this Forester is that its broader front end and rising waistline have given it a more generic compact 4x4 stance. In fact, it's 110mm taller and 45mm wider than the old car, and this substantial enlargement takes the Forester out of its traditional niche and puts it into direct competition with cars like Toyota's RAV4, Nissan's X-Trail, Honda's CR-V and Land Rover's Freelander, rivals that have been perfecting their talents for some years. Inside, it's all very neat, with a brushed aluminium look centre console and a big driver information system on top of the dashboard. There's nothing particularly memorable about the cabin, but it's a big improvement in quality over that of the Mark II model. The front seats can fold fully flat, while here in the back the rear seats split 60-40 and they can recline. Now, with these rear seats in place, there's 450 litres of luggage space behind me. If I fold them all flat, there's 1,610 litres to use. Prices start at around £20,000 once you've spec'd the car up, rise to just under £25,000. That's typical compact 4x4 territory, although significantly less than you'd pay for slightly larger rivals like Volvo's XC70 and Audi's Allroad. Now, I'm trying the 150 brake horsepower 2-litre petrol engine with its traditional Boxer configuration, but if you can stretch to it, It's also worth considering the 2-litre 145 brake horsepower Boxer diesel, one of the quietest engines of its kind and available at a premium of around £2,000. The 2-litre petrol engine benefits from recent improvements that make it quieter, more frugal and more flexible. Much of the engineering and the equipment on the Forester positions it as one of the more advanced vehicles in its class. Now, safety of course is particularly important to family buyers, and the Forester excels in terms of impact absorption for both pedestrians and for passengers. Inside the car you get seat belts with load limiters and pre-tensioners, you get impact absorption materials on the pillars, there's a collapsible brake pedal, and of course there are front, side and curtain airbags. All models feature electric windows, 60/40 split rear seats with reclining backrests, a vehicle information display, cruise control and a height and reach adjustable steering wheel. There's also climate controlled air conditioning, a CD player, front fog lamps and heating for the front seats, the mirrors and the windscreen. Manual models have a dual range transmission. The improvements made to this particular Forester's 2-litre 150 PS petrol engine have made it more flexible through the gears. You've got improved mid-range pulling power and much better economy, as well as improved exhaust emissions. If you take the automatic version that many will choose, economy is up by more than 3 miles to the gallon, while emissions are down by 21 grams per kilometre of CO2. The manual version's better too. Expect to get 33.6 miles to the gallon on the combined cycle and the vehicle to record 198 grams per kilometre of CO2. And that's competitive against the opposition. The fuel tank in the diesel is impressive too. Say you're on holiday in Europe, well you'll be able to go around 1,000 kilometres between fill-ups. Now, as usual with Subaru, the warranty is one of the best in the industry. You get a 3 years or 60,000 miles of cover, 3 years on your paintwork, 12 years of anti-corrosion warranty, service intervals are 12,000 miles, and you also get 3 years of cover from Subaru Assistance, which covers you for roadside or recovery across the UK and Europe. Subaru hasn't taken the easy way out with this Forester. More of the same would have been the route of least resistance, but in making the car bigger and more of a conventional SUV, Subaru have given the car a new lease of life, though pitching it up against a set of even tougher competitors. So has this car jumped from the frying pan into the fire thanks to its broader appeal? Well, maybe, but it continues to have an endearing individuality that appeals to customers who can't quite make up their mind between an all-wheel drive estate and a fully fledged compact off-roader.